According to the sources of the Coptic Church, chief among which is the vision documented by Pope Theophilus, and recorded in the Coptic Synaxarium, the Holy Family proceeded from Bethlehem to Gaza, and from there to El Zaraniq, also known as Flusiyat, some 37 kilometers west of El Arish. Then they threaded their way along northern Sinai until they reached Farma, ancient Pelusium, midway between El Arish and present-day Port Said. It was their last stop to Sinai, and with the next leg of their journey, they put the perils of the wilderness behind them. T Basta or Basta, which they entered, is a short distance from Zagazig, the main town in the Sharqiya Governorate, about 81 kilometers northeast of Cairo. Here Jesus caused the water spring to well up from the ground, and his presence caused the idols to crumble, as foretold by the prophets of old. The townsfolk, in the consequence, turned malevolent and aggressive, whereupon the Holy Family turned their backs on the town and headed southwards. In due course they reached Mustur, which came to be called in those days Al-Mahamma, only about 10 kilometers away from Cairo. Al-Mahamma means the bathing place, a name given to the town because the Virgin Mary bathed the Christ child there and washed his clothes. It is worthy to note that eventually, on their way back to Palestine, the Holy Family stopped once more at Mustur, and this time caused a spring to gush from the earth, which still flows forth to the present day. From Mustur, the Holy Family made their way northeastwards to Belbas, ancient Philippus. Back in Sharqiya Governorate, and at a distance of about 55 kilometers from Cairo, they rested there in the shade of a tree, which came to be called Having left their mark on Belbas, the Holy Family continued the journey to the north and passed by the town which is currently known as Zagazig. Then they made their way to Menyet Samanud, known also as Menyet Jena, and passed by the town which is currently known as Dakados, where a church of the Virgin Mary is found. There is also a water well from which the Holy Family drank. They then crossed the Nile to the city of Samanud, or Gymnoti in the delta, where the local population received them with a kindness and hospitality that earned them a deserved blessing. There is in Samanud to this day a large granite trowel which, according to local belief, was used by the Virgin for kneading dough, and a water well which the Christ child himself blessed.